Hey y'all, hey, welcome to 2D Talk Sis. It is Monday. How was y'all weekend? We did this weekend, what did I do? My babies went over to Great Wolf Lodge in Gurney, Illinois. So they went over there with my sister. She be getting all the kids, okay? About 20, 50, 11 of them doggone kids she had there. But they had a good time. They enjoyed themselves. Me and my husband got a day to ourselves. So that was fun. Um, I don't know with this y'all. I told y'all I'm trying different streaming services. So this is the one that I've been using lately because I did not like the other one that I tried, but I really like StreamYard the best. But that one is $45 a month. Okay, when I get monetized, I go back to that one. I like that one the best. It got the clips that I be throwing up. It allows me to play my theme song, my intro, my outro. But for now, y'all, today we gonna talk about P Diddy being sentenced, Tyrese turning himself in, and this government shutdown, y'all. So come on, y'all, let's discuss. Have to.
The night blanche, yeah. Soft. Yeah. Scroll in the tube, found a star in the chaos. Duty spitting facts like a modern day seance. Turning waves, politics, spotlight. Raw with the wit, hits you sharp like a frostbite. Come on, y'all, let's discuss her anthem, her creed. Breaking down the drama, uncovering the greed. Laugh through the truth, it's enlightenment with flair. Duty talks sense, ain't no nonsense over there. Come on, we tuned into 2D's vibe. High energy keeps the convo alive. From scandals to news, she hit it all bright. 2D taking the mic like she owns the fight. Attention, detention, the trends are her prey. Mix politics with comedy in a slick ballet. 2D bust through lies like a battering ram. Sharp commentary, she ain't giving a damn. Come on, we tuned into 2D's vibe. High energy keeps the convo alive. From scandals to news, she hit it all bright. 2D taking the mic like she owns the fight.
Okay, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm hoping that y'all can hear me and y'all can see me well. Do the little mic check. This is a little behind, and then we're gonna start off with P Diddy, right? Because this is gonna be a relatively short show today. Um, okay, yeah. For some reason, okay, it's back clear. Okay, the video's back clear. Y'all can hear me now. Y'all know that P Diddy got sentenced. Hey Jedi, hey, how you doing? Y'all know that P Diddy got sentenced, right? I want to say it was on Friday. Yeah, he got sentenced on Friday. So in case y'all been under the rock and don't know, he was charged. He was charged with 5 counts, but he was found not guilty of 3 accounts that would have contributed that would have made it a RICO. The 3 accounts that he wasn't sentenced to would have made it a RICO, so he was not sentenced to a RICO. He was sentenced to what is known as the Mann Act. I'm not sentenced. He was charged guilty on 2 accounts of the Mann Act, which is pretty much um, transporting them people on the streets. You know what I'm saying? The people who make their money what's up in the pants. They get paid for it. That's their career. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So he was charged with 2 accounts of transporting, pretty much prostitution, transporting a prostitute over state lines. So some of the problem with it was the Mann Act was initially formed pretty much to keep black men from messing around with white women. There was this boxer and he was famous, making all this money, and he had no white women, so they made this act specifically for that. But is that what he used for now? No. Um, so people were saying that should are you okay with him being charged with the Mann Act in this? It was a racist law pretty much. So, but then I did see statistics that says yes, it might have started off as a racist law, but I think majority of the people who's being charged with it now are not black men. But I didn't check that. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. So the prosecutor was asking for 11 years. His defense team was asking for like time served. Like he'd have been in there a year, that's enough, get it done. The max was 10 years per charge. So technically, he could have got 20 years if they would have made him run it back to back. So what the judge did is pretty much split it down the middle, gave him almost 5 years. I want to say it was 50 months that he gave him, and he's been in there already for a year. So that's pretty much 4 years. We're doing 85% of the time because it's a federal case. I would assume maybe 2 more years that he have. And when he get out, I think it's $50,000 that he have to pay, and he also, I think it's 5 years of like being on some type of supervision or probation or something like that. So the P Diddy case is over. Okay, finally it's over. It's done with. Do y'all think he got too much time? What do y'all feel about the sentence? Do you think it's too much time, or you think it's not enough time? Because I didn't heard it both ways. Some people like it ain't enough time. I said some people feel like he got like the OJ treatment, like we didn't find you guilty of what we wanted to find you guilty of, but the stuff we did find you guilty of, we're gonna charge you as if you was found guilty of everything. Uh, I feel like P Diddy was not a nice person. He was not a good man, not a good boyfriend. I do feel like it was coercion, and I thought he would have been charged guilty of the other charges. I knew these men acts. I was saying it when I was covering it. It seemed like the man act was in the bag, like from when they started the charges. Like, yeah, all they had to do is pull up the flight, and you had these people to testify that they was escorts. Pull up the flight. If he paid for them to fly over, yeah, guilty. That was simple. But the RICO Act was very different because he had to coerce people, and then that would go to me. It was more on personal opinion. If you felt like coerce Cass on it because the benefits of being with P Diddy, and she didn't want to lose the benefits. I felt it was coercion. Of course, the jury didn't agree, but at the end of the day, that's not what he was charged with. So I feel like if what he was charged with, if typically it's 5 years, which I'm not sure. Let's see if I can Google it. What is the typical sentence for the Mann Act? And it is raining here in the Shutdown, y'all. So I guess ICE ain't out snatching people up out off the streets because it's raining. Yeah, it didn't give me a answer to that. But I feel like if the Mann Act, if that's typical, like around the typical charge, around the typical time that you would get for that charge, then it's fine. But if it's more, if it's excessive, and it's because he's P Diddy, then that's kind of unfair. Even though I feel like he deserves it. Now let's move. Let's move on, yeah. So Tyrese, they had it started running on the news. TMZ and things and the peoples had reported that Tyrese had a warrant out for his arrest for animal cruelty. So I was like, is Tyrese over there fighting dogs, y'all? He doing a Mike Vick? No. What had happened was, y'all ain't heard from me because I ain't the one to gossip. But what had happened was that Tyrese, and I'm assuming he wasn't home at the time, but his dog ended up getting out, and he has massive. Yeah, he had massive. They end up getting out and unaliving one of the neighbor's dog. So I said, "Oh, I know you could go to jail for something that your dog didn't did." But word on the street is, now this is what TMZ is reporting, that once it happened, they called Tyrese, and of course for him to come home, or somebody came home when all this happened. Now they had typically a dog, unalive another dog bite a person or something. 9 times out of 10, the city depending on the city ordinance, a lot of them would make you put the dog down. So Tyrese was supposed to turn in the dog, and he did not. And when they went to his house to get the dog, this one, he gonna tell them dog ain't here. That he didn't rehome the dog. So they like, you can't just rehome the dog. Like, no, 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 no. You bring that in here, boy. Like, no, you supposed to turn the dog in to us. So I guess after that, Tyrese, became unavailable. So then they put the warrant out for his arrest. So then he turned himself in, and I believe he's out by now. I believe he's out at this point. As you can tell, it was raining, and I got caught in the rain. It's what it'll look like this, but it's all right. I still came on to talk to y'all to get y'all this story looking like this. Yeah, this is from People.com. So Tyrese Gibson turned himself in. Let me close this. Into police and charged with animal cruelty after his dog allegedly unalive a neighbor's pet. And you see right there, Tyrese still looking. Tyrese look good for his age. He just got little bags up under the eyes, but that's what happens when you're on the run. But that man was that on the run. Let me not say it. Ain't got no money. I see stars now be suing. Tyrese Gibson was arrested on Friday, October the 3rd, after his four massive dogs allegedly mauled his neighbor's pet to death weeks earlier. The actor was previously given a deadline to turn himself into authorities after they issued an arrest warrant, but he failed to comply initially. Gibson was booked at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia and charged with one count of cruelty to animals. Tyrese Gibson legal troubles tied to incidents involving dog continues. The actor, 46, turned himself into police and was arrested on Friday, October the 3rd, after his four massive dog allegedly mauled his neighbor's pet to death weeks earlier. Gibson was booked at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia. I didn't know it was four. Jeez, I don't know massive big dogs. And you can when I read the story at the bottom, you'll see this was a little bitty dog. Don't I'm assuming, yeah, because if they regular massive, for some reason I remember them saying cane corsals, but I could be wrong. But this just says four massives. But those are some big old dogs, and four of them just running wild up in the street. Tyrese, you know about. But Gibson was booked at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia and was charged with one count of cruelty to animals, according to online records. He was previously given a deadline to turn himself into authorities who issued an arrest warrant, but he had failed to do so. The Fast and Furious star was released not long after his arrest on a $20,000 bond. Last month, one or more, okay, he has four, so they just saying one or more, allegedly mauled their neighbor's Cavalier King Charles Spaniard to death. Authorities issued a search warrant for Gibson Park properties on September the 22nd, but the actor and the dog was not there. Baby, he got the hell out of Dodge, okay? After the arrest warrant was issued on September 22nd, Fulton County Police Captain Nicole Dyer told People that Gibson was getting his affairs in order, adding, but he has known he has a warrant for over a week and has failed to turn himself in as requested. In a previous statement to People, Gibson attorney Gab Banks said the actor was working with authorities concerning the misdemeanor warrant. I think that the lawyer put in the misdemeanor. This is a misdemeanor. Let's make this clear. It's a misdemeanor warrant. It ain't no felony, okay? Mr. Gibson is cooperating fully with authorities to address and resolve this matter responsibly, adding that Gibson extends his deepest condolences to the family who lost their beloved dog to this tragic incident that occurred while Mr. Gibson was away from his home. He said, then too, let me add, this is a misdemeanor and I wasn't there, okay? That's pretty much what that statement is saying. I'm going to send my condolences, but no, I wasn't there when this happened. After the tragedy, Gibson attorney said the actors had since rehomed his beloved massive. The family that lost their beloved pet, however, continued to mourn their loss. Harrison Parker said he let 5-year-old dog Henry out in his yard, which had an invisible fence. But when he returned minutes later, I found my dog dead in my driveway. Henry suffered internal bleeding and puncture wounds, court documents allege, according to the local outlet. Not hearing him around is just awful. He was one of the sweetest dogs, and to have him get murdered is indescribable. Okay. Yeah, so that's that story. He's out on a $20,000 bond. He turned himself in, and I'm like, condolences to the man who lost his dog, and he about to be able to buy about 500 more of those once he sue Tyrese, because I'm quite sure that's what's coming next. Because that emotional damage is gonna be crazy. Um, yeah, let's continue on to. We are on day 6 of the government shutdown. Now I'm gonna show y'all the video, and this is gonna be 20 minutes. The name of this YouTube is Secular Talk, and I'm gonna show y'all maybe 4 or 5 minutes of the video to give you a basics of what's all going on. Because what you're hearing on the news and what you're hearing everywhere, social media, the Republicans are blaming the Democrat. Trump is blaming the Democrats. The Democrats are blaming the Republicans. So my pretty much understanding of it is that on September 30th, the budget for the year coming up from October up to September 30th of the next year expires. So Congress has to get together and pass a budget in order to keep the government going, to keep paying them bills. Okay, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? So in order to pay them bills, they got to pass this resolution, is what they call it, and that's the pretty much the money in order to continue for the year. Now the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are going to cut Medicaid. That this is the subsidies that pretty much the basis of it is when you go to the hospital and you don't have insurance, this money is paid to cover that cost. The Republicans are saying, oh, well, no, they just want to pay for Medicaid for immigrants. And to be honest, immigrants are not allowed to get Medicaid, Medicare is not allowed. That's just the way the government is set up. They even the ones, the illegal immigrants. We're saying illegal immigrants. You'll see a lot of flipping and word tossing out there, but illegal immigrants are not allowed, or undocumented immigrants are not allowed to get Medicaid, Medicare from the government. Now they do pay into the system. It's some billions of dollars they pay a year, but they are not allowed to receive any government assistance, any government benefits. Now you do have immigrants who are allowed to receive it. You do have documented immigrants who are allowed to receive it, but Republicans are, to get their base riled up, are saying that the Democrats just want to pay for undocumented immigrants with this Medicaid bill, and they're holding up and they're shutting down the government because they want to pay for this bill. But these are just the facts. Undocumented immigrants do not receive government subsidies, Medicaid, anything. Um, let's see what else we have to talk about. I'm gonna show you. I'm just trying to get the basis out there. Now, if y'all remember before, Chuck Schumer, right? He's over there. He's over the minority leader. He's over there over the Democrats, and everybody was already mad at his ass anyway, because last time when they this happens a couple of times. This have happened already this year, where the Democrats were supposed to stand their ground and not sign to get the budget passed. And it was like, okay, well, let the budget go and let the government shut down, because the Republicans have the majority in the House and pretty much everywhere. The Congress, the House, pretty much the judges. Trump's is in office. He's a Republican. They have the majority everywhere. So the Democrats previously was like, we're going to stand and we're not going to, because they need 60 votes in order to pass this resolution so the government won't shut down. They have 53. They only need 7 Democrats to sign, and they can't get it. Previously, the Democrats said no, we're going to stand strong, and Chuck came out there and lied to everybody. He was like, no, we're going to stand strong, and I'm not going to sign this bill, baby. Trump must threaten him, and his ass came the very I think it was the next day, 2 days later, and signed it. It was like it's just better to sign it, and we're gonna, I believe that they're gonna work with us to, we're gonna come to resolutions, and we're gonna compromise, and we're gonna get things I have had some of their words that we're gonna get some of the things that we're asking for, and fool me once, baby, shame on me. They laughed to his head. I don't know what he thought. Everybody else already knew his ass was lying, but so now they from the last one that passed, that was maybe I forget how the last one was the extension. So now it's time, of course, October the 1st, they needed to pass another one or they was gonna go into the shutdown. So Chuck finally got some balls. Chuck finally didn't sign. The Democrats are finally trying to hold together and finally trying to get a little backbone up in them and saying no, because y'all are going to cut this Medicaid. And what all the Democrats are asking for in order to get the resolution passed, in order to get the budget passed, in order to open the government back up, all they're asking for is that do not cut the Medicaid, do not cut insurance. That's all they're asking for. Now, out of everything that's going on, they could be asking for a lot more with the immigration, with the sending the troops in, with this motherfucker just gave billions to Argentina. But okay, they could be asking for a lot fucking more. All they're asking for is not to have these the cuts on the insurance, because it's going to make insurance go up 2 to 3 times for a lot of people. They won't be able to afford it, and they will get kicked off their insurance. That's it. Oh, and another thing, they're saying they want to pay these illegal immigrants for health insurance. Want to pay illegal immigrants health insurance. At the end of the day, the money don't even go to the immigrants. This money is to the hospital. So people, I don't know if y'all got people like me. My people look ghetto when not I shouldn't even say ghetto, but times be hard, and so not everybody got health insurance. But y'all know the saying is always go to the emergency room. They can't deny you at the emergency room. And if you have ever been to the emergency room to get treated, you know that there's also a form that you can fill out, and it's the action about citizenship. So yes, they would know whether you're a citizen or not. But it's also, they ask for your ID. You got to show proof. And like when you register at a hospital, y'all have been to a hospital before. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so then there's also, if you go to an emergency room, you don't have insurance. There's also a form that you fill out that, that they have funds that will cover your ER visit. If not all of it, then, whatever percentage of it. So this is what they're trying to get passed. This is what the Republicans are saying, that the Democrats want to pay the illegal immigrants health insurance, but that's not what's going on. But anyway, one end is blaming the other, the government that shut down. Now, the history behind it is the previous government shut down. Y'all know FAA workers, these airports and things, they are still going to work. So they are not getting paid. What ended it last time, they worked for so long, and then they was like, oh hell no. And so all them airplanes and things was grounded, and all them millionaires was losing billions of dollars a day. Like, if not billions, it could have been millions of dollars a day they was losing for no workers being there, so they couldn't do the checks, security checks. So you know they wasn't able to, people wasn't able to fly out like that. And that's what ended up getting in the course of last time was under Trump, his previous term. But that's what ended up getting the things back. So the government had been shut down for 6 days, y'all. And they said, the Democrats saying that the Republicans don't want to talk to them. And the Republicans are saying, like, the Republicans said pretty much, we don't have to. We have the power. Do what we say do. Trump that came out and said, oh, y'all. He done came out pretty much been a thug. Like, okay, well, guess what? If you don't sign it, then all that's going to do is give me what I want anyway, because then that's going to give me the opportunities to cut more jobs, to fire people, federal government workers. Doge then already came up there and fired a lot of federal government workers. So Trump was like, Okay, yeah, don't sign it because what typically happens in a shutdown is that people may get laid off, or furlough is what it called. So people may get furloughed, but they don't get fired. So Trump is saying, and this is what this guy that is one of the authors of the Project 2025, and he's bringing him in, and he's going to go through and slash thousands and thousands of federal jobs. And he's like, well, because now I can pretty much do it because the government is shut down, and when the government shut down, it gives the president more power to do things that I wanted to do any goddamn way. That's like, ain't this about to be? So I will show y'all, and I already explained it, but let me see if show y'all a couple of minutes of this guy talking about it, and let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think the Democrats should go ahead and fold, or keep their government shut down? So because it's like, if you give them an inch, they're gonna take them out. That's how I feel. It's like, y'all. First of all, you should have been stood up before this, because you keep saying, like, you keep acting like a bunch of bitches. Especially Hakeem Jeffrey, who was saying that Charlie Clerk resolution. I was just like, is he out his rap ass man when he did that? Okay, but now, and before Chuck Schumer, who folded last time. Somehow I don't want the government shutdown because it's going to give Trump power, and he's going to do a lot of things, and so I'd rather just sign it. Now you're in the same fucking situation a couple months later when you could have just stood your ground then, and y'all could have worked it out and talked. But now, what you folding back then gonna do? So now I guess he had a straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know. I don't know what's different from now, but we'll see how long the Democrats are gonna hold out, because they did the same shit in Texas. Remember when the gerrymandering, and they said, "Oh, well, we're gonna leave the state," so they're not able to. They won't be able to hold the quorum, and they can't vote because there's not gonna be enough people there. Damn, what that last? What did they even last a week? That's why did right here. This is why I missed the old app that I was I used to stream on. Because right now I would press that rally from Boondocks and be like, "You still a bitch." That's what I would have did.
In a government shutdown. So it started last night. I believe it was at 12 o'clock at night on the dot. And I want to walk you through what that means here. So let me start with this and just give you the general breakdown of exactly what's happening. So about 750,000 federal workers are going to be furloughed daily. 750,000. And there are still things that are considered essential that continue. So, for example, a bunch of military stuff, law enforcement stuff, border protection, air traffic control, critical healthcare stuff like the VA, like all that stuff continues. But a lot of stuff stops. So anything that's administrative in the government, anything that's clerical, any support roles, agencies like the Department of Education and Housing and Commerce, about, I think it's like half or so of the CDC and Health and Human.
And then if you guys remember the Project 2025, they wanted to get rid of the Department of Education anyway, and they've been cutting different positions in the Department of Education. Who's the girl, the Vince wife, who's ahead of it right now? Like, so that's what they were saying. That's part of the fear. They're like, okay, if we do the government shutdown, everything they've been trying to do that we have been preventing, now they got the lead way to do it. But the way this government is working, they gonna do what they want to do anyway. So you might as well stand for something.
Services. So a lot of people are furloughed. Like I said, nearly 1 million people are furloughed. Then there's also, people who still have to work, but then they don't get paid yet. And, in previous shutdowns, it's like when they got it all sorted out, there was back pay that was given and whatnot. I don't know if I trust this regime to do that. That's the first point.
Because Donald Trump have already came out and said he furlough and he firing.
But this was all because they couldn't reach a budget deal. Now, remember, Trump's the president, so the Republicans hold the White House, the Senate, the House of Representatives, and they hold the courts, although that's not pertinent to this conversation. So they control every lever of government. And
I never seen a more angry bunch of winners. Y'all, ain't y'all winning? Ain't this what you wanted? Why y'all still so angry? Maggie, drop down in the comments. Let me know why y'all still so angry. Because y'all want to talk about Civil War and everything. Like, I thought you won. Then ain't this what you wanted?
And so this is 100% on them. Now, they need 7 Democratic votes, I believe it is, to get to the 60 votes that's needed for a budget deal. But the way that works in reality is that you now need to go to those Democrats and say, hey, what can we offer you in order to get a deal through? And Trump's reaction instead was, fuck you. And he literally said, like, go fuck yourself or something to that effect. We covered it the other day. It's something like, go fuck yourself, he said to the Democrats. So it's like, okay, well, then I guess you got to try to figure this out all on your own. And here we are. So there was no deal that was reached. Literally the only thing Democrats is funding for the Obamacare subsidies, which would keep healthcare prices lower than what they would be otherwise. That's all they're asking for. And the reaction from the right has been to just flat out lie over and over and over and say stuff like, Democrats are demanding that we fund healthcare for illegal immigrants, and that's what they're stuck on, and that's what they're fighting. It's just a total lie. Like, it's literally just a complete and utter lie. It's not true at all, not even close to true. The subsidies do not go, and Medicaid under Obamacare to undocumented immigrants, but they just lie and run with it, and that becomes the talking point. And so you get, half the media landscape just regurgitating this lie, and then you get the other half going, that's not actually true, and here we are. The right bulldozes over the Democrat. Hey, you need 7 of our votes. In order to get 7 of our votes, here's what we're demanding. Not only to keep healthcare prices lower and keep having the subsidies for Obamacare, not only that, I would also be demanding you can't continue to deploy the U.S. military against U.S. citizens. That's wildly illegal. That's fucking fascist dictator shit. Let's stop pretending like this shit is normal, right? Those are just 2 examples of things you can and should bring up. I mean, honestly, it should be a list of like 5 or 10 things that you bring up. But let's just start there, right? Well, guess what? Here is what's going to happen now. So listen to this. Just a momentary lapse in appropriations, a shutdown that lasts minutes or hours, would give Russell Vaught the power to tell agency leaders to move past the usual furloughs temporarily.
Russell Vaught is the one who is one of the authors of Project 2025.
Non-duty and non-pay status to RIFs, which is being permanently fired. Vaught could choose the programs that the administration has been wanting to eliminate and give a very big haircut to others. The result would be a dramatic, instantaneous shift in the separation of powers. Let me underline this. While the purse is empty, the Office of Management and Budget, led by Russell Vaught, who's a Project 2025 author, by the way, would seize the power of the purse from Congress. The administration could choose to prolong shutdown for as long as it liked, through poison negotiations with congressional Democrats, and comb through the government to flooded programs it's been trying to cut. I think I'm supposed to say to flatten programs it's been trying to cut. With this prospect looming, the administration has little incentive to do more than shed crocodile tears over a shutdown. And then, when the shutdown is over, when the administration chooses to end it, those employees who were furloughed would come back on the payroll with back pay through a 2019 law. The employees who were riffed would not. This would be an historic and incredible invention of a backdoor impoundment. OMB could prevent the administration of programs it opposes by gutting the government's capacity to administer them. The Trump team could kill programs unilaterally without the inconvenience of going to Congress. To top it all off, this would be perfectly legal.
Most drivers don't know that they can buy out their lease because it's not really.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I was saying. That they're trying to use this shutdown as a way to get rid of all the programs that they wanted to get rid of anyway.
Is exactly what they did under Elon Musk and Doge. Now, for those of you who don't remember, we had Elon Musk at the beginning of Trump's time in office. We had Elon Musk unilaterally hack into U.S. government agencies. And he cut pediatric cancer research. He cut the funding for NOAA and the NWS, the National Weather Service. So now we get worse weather forecasts because not only did they fire people, they also cut the number of weather balloons that we have. He cut Meals on Wheels, the CFPB, which is the Consumer.
Some people were saying that maybe some of the tragedy in Texas with the flash flood, the people that lost their life, that it's possible that, that maybe some of that could have been avoided had not Elon Musk went in and cut those service weather programs. But I don't know. But still, condolences to the family who lost someone.
Financial Protection Bureau, which protects you from getting scammed. Nuclear safety officials. In fact, you had to beg the top nuclear safety official to come back. cut FEMA, the Department of Education, fired 83,000 veterans, shut 50% of the Social Security offices, fired 250,000 government workers overall, fired food safety inspectors and air traffic controllers, and they cut scientific research and medical research. And that's only some.
And then tell jobs to not take Tylenol because it causes autism.
But USAID, which, by the way, there was an article that came out the other day from Nick Kristof in the New York Times that said 88 kids were dying a day because they couldn't get malaria medication and HIV medication. So what Trump is going to do is, in the same way that they did these cuts under Elon Musk and got away with it, by the way, they retroactively approved a lot of cuts. Now, they're going to do it again in a government shutdown. They're going to do it again in a government shutdown. Except this time, they have some sort of pseudo-legal framework. Not that it mattered because they did it when there was no legal framework.
Right. So
that's what happened. They did it when there was no legal framework and got away with it. Now, they're going to do the same fucking thing with a pseudo-legal framework. So this is how fucked everything is. This is how fucked everything is. And if you're a Democrat...
So now, yeah, this is day 6 of this. This is day 6. I'm trying to keep my head again. This is day 6 of this government shutdown. The last I checked, it was still going on. I haven't checked since I've been on here. I'm assuming it's still on. I don't know what's going to be the end because seems like the last time I seen the news conference, it was saying that they asked Hakeem Jeffrey if he are even talking to any of the Democrats, and he gave this wordy ass answer that pretty much boiled down to no. But politicians will politic, okay? But they break it down simple terms, no. So it don't seem like they either talking on either side. So we gonna, hunker down, y'all, finger crossed, and everybody, be on your P's and Q's and try to do the best you can for you and in your community, in your household, because we don't know how long this gonna last. But knowing the Democrats, they ass gonna crazy. I shouldn't say that because I am hoping that they stand for something in this something shit. Come over there like players. Cause did you even pinch the bitch? Because the Republicans out here whooping y'all ass. Like stand for something. Yeah, we gonna see how this go. I have to get on up out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I can go ahead and get monetized, so I can get my go back to StreamYard. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on all social media. And what else? Y'all, like the video. How am I forgetting that? Like the doggone video. Okay, drop that in the comments. Let me know what you think about P. Diddy sentence with Tyrese and his dogs, and he been charged with one count of animal cruelty. And let me know what y'all think about this government shutdown. Do y'all have any, because I'm over here at the loss of words. You have any opinions, advice, any ideas to throw out here? Do you think that the Democrats should go ahead and fold, or do you think they should finally stick this one out? Let me know. But y'all enjoy the rest